going on, everybody? Welcome back. You've still tuned in the market update video here at Benefit Central. I'm Benjamin, and today Bitcoin in the S&P charts. But before I get right into the market, please leave a like, drop a comment, and if you can, subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Everybody, honestly, today, just before I get into everything on how the market reacted, honestly, we did get a relief rally temporarily. However, looking into the DXY or the dollar, obviously, we are at $1.08. However, we went all the way to $1.09, almost $1.10 yesterday. But wanting to show you this gap that we traded, we gapped up for the dollar yesterday, and I had told my friends that usually gaps close, they end up filling. Usually gaps always have to be filled. I noticed with blue chip stocks and certain other stocks, they don't necessarily have to be filled right away. However, with cryptos and certain other faster and more volatile stocks, they seem to want to close quicker, just to keep the graph, I guess, smooth. Excuse me. But however, we saw this gap up, and I had mentioned that when the dollar goes up, crypto goes down, and if the dollar goes excuse me, if the dollar goes down, crypto goes up. So I had mentioned, I said crypto will be coming, it will pop a little bit for some temporary relief tomorrow, or within the early mornings, just while we cover this gap, crypto will go up. And then depending on how it wants to fill the gap, if the gap was necessarily like an over spike, and then that's signaling that that was the top and that we need to come back down and reset, and then the gap was the start of the return back down, obviously. However, that was a big spike up, that was another high. So honestly, we do have to just realistically see how we close for the dollar. As you just saw, we just got that reversal finally off the 50 moving average, still bullish as well. So it's not very good, looking too well for crypto as of right now. However, looking at the daily, we are overbought. However, inflation is continuing to go up. So it is going to be very interesting to see how the dollar reacts within the next few weeks, to the end of this month and then into September, especially when we get our reports for August in September. So very, very interesting events coming. A lot of people still are calling this a double top, and I can show you why as well. Just because, like I said, with this wick, a lot of people are scared that we wicked through it. I'm not necessarily too scared, just because it is fighting this. However, the longer we fight this, I do anticipate that the more that we tap this resistance, that we will break it. However, if we continue to just reject off of it, then I do anticipate that we will come back down. However, I don't like that we're trying to hold this and trying to consolidate up here to try to break it. It's just not good. Crypto would be looking for further lows. But other than that, realistically, I'm going to show you, everybody, the Bitcoin. We'll start with Bitcoin just because it has been doing a little bit well since we, obviously with the daily, jumping into the daily, you can see that we recovered just a tad bit. Obviously, it's not the full daily. We have until 5 to 6, so I mean, we still have a few hours. But we did finally get that relief, obviously, finally crossing bearish, which isn't too good for crypto news. However, I did want to show you guys that with that gap, right, we were headed down, and then with that gap we ended up just creating great volume back to 20k. Ethereum looks a tad bit different. However, we did finally round off that bottom, made an ascending triangle, ended up breaking bullish, and then we actually were pretty set. And then after, obviously, we had that 4-hour RBI, and then obviously with the volume pushed us through the 20 moving average, still trying to fight it and close above it. Looking at on the daily, like I said, with the RBI, temporary relief, we are below our 200 moving average once again. However, possibly creating a W, which would be phenomenal. If we cannot create a W here, then obviously we're headed for more lows, and then obviously 14k, etc., back down for Bitcoin. However, looking at the month, you can finally see that this GBI is kicking in. If it continues and it breaks that W and it continues, obviously through this wick of support, then I will be entering a short pretty strongly, just because of the GBI, and it's monthly. So definitely not looking too well here for the cryptos. Other than that, though, realistically, I can show you guys Ethereum, just because we do have that merge coming here pretty soon. Obviously, as you guys could tell, we did spike all the way back up from the ascending triangle that we had, and that W that I was saying that we also created. We ended up going all the way back to 1500 as well for Ethereum. We ended up spiking through it around 1530. So great profits. Honestly, we entered from 450. I'll show you guys where. We entered from 450, which was around where I had tweeted this. If you guys missed that already, don't forget to go and follow my media. But I did see this ascending triangle, just squeezing, trying to get this out, obviously finding resistance at the top, and then just finally squeezing out through 1450. Obviously, we long halves and wholes, so that was already an entry for us, especially going into it. We got into it, and we TP'd halfway at around 1470, 1480, and then a little more than half. But then, obviously, we longed 1500 again, made a little bit with the wick, got out, and as of right now, looking to see where the markets want to continue towards. Just because that was our 1500 and that was our 1450, our half and our whole. Great pricings right there, great trades that were executed. Unfortunately though, looking in on the daily, you can see that we are trying to round this off with this bearish cross. If we cannot seem to get above this and not let it cross, then it definitely will bearishly cross and then push this back down further for this head and shoulders completion. It can be completed as of right now, to be honest with you, just because we dipped all the way to 1400. However, I am just a little bit cautious just because this can still flip bearish. But I mean, if we get some candles to continue up, it won't flip bearish and we can continue and save this bullish momentum. However, looking out on the weekly, it's looking like we want to retest the 200 moving average, hopefully making a double bottom and giving us enough momentum to buy in at neckline at around 2 grand. Obviously, after fighting all of our other resistances, but obviously finding that entry at 2 grand for this to launch way much further, just because of the double bottom formation. However, we do need to let that complete and hopefully not form a double top instead. But other than that, realistically, everybody, for Ethereum, it is holding up very much, well, realistically, it's holding up way better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin was forming that GBI almost completely down to the baseline. As of right here, you see that Ethereum is trying to hold this up and possibly get a RBI going off of this. So bottoms could be in for the head and shoulders as of right now. I'm just a little bit worried because the head and shoulders could have completed much lower. However, I am still waiting to see how this monthly closes. We just only have a few days until we finally get this closed. So that would be nice to see that pop up as an RBI, just knowing that next month possibly we can come wick down, maybe revisit triple bottom, maybe revisit this 50 moving average, maybe possible wick down, and then continue bullish with this RBI setup. I do strongly believe that. So we do just need to look out for that on the completion, as well as the weekly, seeing where we can reset, maybe get a bull 180 off of that. And then for the daily, still trying to see where we end up closing on the daily. If we were to try to close below 1400 or 1450, then we'd obviously try to continue much lower. But as of right now, we found some support, obviously being oversold on several time frames, and trying to come back with some weight right now and some momentum, pushing us back into bullish territory, or attempting to. But other than that, realistically, everybody, I'm going to show you guys XRP just real quick before the S&P 500. But looking at this right here, obviously our double bottom, XRP really hasn't done much since we've called these swings. I mean, we did get that double bottom swing that we wanted, came back with test for support, and then came back obviously and hit our TP for the 40K, or 40 cents. And then obviously we've fallen drastically, as well as getting a bearish cross, which is not great. Our weekly is trying to form a double bottom as well. Massive consolidation going on right here on these levels, like we've seen plenty of times before obviously a very huge spike. And I'm saying this just because of the descending channel, triangle, you could call it. And the descending channels usually end up breaking bullish, as in ascending channels usually break bearish. So it will be very interesting to see how these price actions get together, because this is a descending channel triangle, and this should realistically, if we do not break bearish, this should break really far up, possibly past this high. TP would be this high, that's TP1, TP2, possibly TP3, TP2, TP3, or TP3, TP2, TP1, or TP1, TP2, TP3. Just depends on how you want to play this. But realistically, I'm looking for up here for XRP. Looking honestly for this to just explode and just keep rallying up. Obviously, as the weekly's oversold, just how it is as well. I don't really think that this can get much lower for XRP. We do have this GBI though that I'm not liking at all. Completing just like Bitcoin's realistically. So I mean, if this can continue and we can't close above in the next few days, then yeah, this might be a completion for this. But other than that, if it stays just like this, then we can get some consolidation like this, where it's just fighting consolidation, a bunch of dojis just left and right, weak candles, and then finally we see some momentum either up or down, most likely up, just because we are pretty low already. as well as a bunch of rumors about the SEC and XRP trying to back up XRP, as well as it signing with several countries. Don't quote me on that, just because that wasn't necessarily fact checked, and it's just news that is everywhere literally right now about XRP and how big it really is. But other than that, realistically, let me just hop into the S&P 500 just to show you guys what is going on with that. Did I pass it? Where is the S&P 500? I must not have it out right now. Sorry about that, guys. Let's go take a look at that real quick. We're at 4,019. Obviously rallying when we did, or when we could, with that gap from the DXY. However, let's go take a look. Oh, this is monthly. GBI isn't really forming too crazy like we have on Bitcoin. However, we are testing the 20 moving average top and push this back down. However, if we could stay like this for the next few next few days, we can form that RBI, like I'm saying, and continue up. However, looking at this, we still are in this descending channel. Like I said, we're starting to form one now on the S&P 500, like we have for the US 30. And honestly, this is our bear market realistically that we're in. Obviously, finding more lows and lows. We still technically can go much, much lower if the Feds want to do this. However, I don't realistically think that they're going to tank this market too far down. There's just a lot that is trying to back this right now, and it wouldn't necessarily be the greatest option for us to tank the market that far. However, we are trying to battle inflation, so it is very interesting times as of right now. But other than that, realistically, I do see this as the next support. We did support here. We did find resistance, found support. So if anything, if we do fall, I do expect us to touch 36.27 if we beat the rest of these wicks and beat 50% retracement to try to continue bullish. If we don't, then we will continue bearish. But other than that, realistically, looking at it on the weekly, you can tell obviously after touching our, after the bullish cross, touching our 50, and then falling all the way down to our 20 moving average, we do got to decide where we're going to go from now, just because we are going to eventually come in contact with the 200 moving average. And diving into the daily, you can see that we had that massive day that was just idiotic, and closed without a wick on the bottom and then gapped down. And then now we recovered with a gap up, and then now trying to find support on that 50 moving average. If we can't, then obviously we either going to consolidate and drop, consolidate and rise, or we're going to try to see a relief rally temporarily right now and then maybe drop again, just because that was really harsh momentum, obviously, from Powell's meeting Friday. But other than that, realistically, everybody, we are waiting for the markets just to kind of consolidate out, rest out, just so that we can get a better entry on all of these cryptos, honestly, on the market. Obviously, do A if A happens, do B if B happens. Do not chase and do not try to rush. That's when you start losing. That's when you are out of tune in the market. You're not in harmony with what's going on. The best trades are effortless, like trades. You look at it, you see it, you understand what's going on. You enter, stop loss, TP, effortlessly, you make money. Just because of the knowledge you know, and how much you study up on the charts, and how much confidence you have in your analysis and your trading abilities. And it takes time to build that. But however, you definitely do not want to chase anything. As of right now, I would love to make some money off of the momentum that is going on. We made money this morning and as well as last night. So you cannot get greedy and try to chase stuff. Right now, there is nothing happening, nothing for us to enter. There's nothing that is looking nice for us to get in, for us to sacrifice and put our money at war. You have to realistically understand that when you enter the market, you are putting your money at war for you, at work. You're putting it to work at war. And each time you do this, you don't really want to waste or lose anything. You want it to be a smart, fully executed plan, in and out, clean, get the money, come in, come out. And you don't want necessarily any damages taken. You don't want to lose money on the way out. You want to avoid swapping fees. You want to avoid anything you can necessarily to make your money in the market. This market is huge, and it's full of a lot of manipulation, a lot of ways to get screwed. Just be smart, be educated about what you're doing on with your trades, how you're performing them. Practice your analysis, try a demo. It does not hurt. Just try to practice your abilities, honestly, in the market, because the market is getting more aggressive as the markets continue to obviously rise and drop. But as we continue to have higher inflation and more data, and more as the economy and the Feds can see that they can impact the economy more verbally now with media and control things more with media, it is a lot easier for them to move money around and mess with us and manipulate and cut us and do several other things. I believe it was 1.6 trillion or something like that was liquidated from Friday after the Powell meeting. It was insane. But other than that, realistically, everybody, we are waiting. If you guys would like to keep up with me, if I haven't released a YouTube video already, you guys could follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. All of my medias are down below or in my link in the bio, in my link tree. But other than that, you guys can stay updated with all of my media if you if you guys can't catch a YouTube video and if I don't post it. But other than that, everybody, that was just another quick market update video for you guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one. So.